Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Switching Stances podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tyler, joined by my good buddy, my good friend, Ollie, aka Gaz. How's it going?
It's going well, man. I've hurt my foot during some wrestling stuff, so my foot's all swollen up and I'm hobbling around. But otherwise, I'm in good spirits for the card this week.
Are you? Good spirits, indeed.
Good spirits, yeah. It's a good card.
It's a big card. It's the beginning of a big run as well.
Yes, yeah, that's the big one. Because we've got bangers at least for 6 weeks now. Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to have obviously with the preview show, then plus post shows for each of these 6 cards, we're going to have 7 weeks in a row of Switching Stances.
Yeah.
Plus throw in reaction videos in there. If you haven't checked out our latest one, we did one for 284. It's a bit late. I'll try not to be that late next time. But yeah, it's a huge amount of content, and I guess a great way for our show to start the year, because when we started talking about it, we're not going to do fight nights as much. We'll just try to start with the big cards and ease into it. But when you've got fights like Cheeto versus Corey Sandhagen,
yeah,
as main events of fight nights, you're like, well, we're going to have to talk about that.
Yeah. Barab versus Jan. You've got Holloway versus Allen. Like, these are bangers.
Bangers.
Like, any of those fights could be for an interim title.
Yes. Corey Sandhagen and Cheeto Vera is an absolutely interim title level fight. Holloway, Arnold Allen, absolutely. I mean, you're talking about one of the greats of that division ever, and a former undisputed multiple-time defending champion in Max Holloway against an up-and-coming young guy in Arnold Allen. Like, that's a huge fight for the featherweight division, with potentially huge implications if Arnold wins.
Yeah,
if Max wins, it doesn't
really hope he does
that much.
I do really hope he wins, just because Max, however much I love Max, he's holding up the division a little bit in the fact that he's just killing all the good competition.
It's true. And he did hold up Volkanovski for 3 fights as well. Lost all of them. But, that's okay. That's okay. We love Max, but we love Arnold Allen on this show as well. Two great guys, great fighters. So I'm excited to see what happens. I think Max pretty decisively beats him, personally. At this stage in Arnold's career, I'm not saying Arnold can't in a couple more years beat him, but I just don't think he's there yet. I think Max is still a little there.
I just need to see what Max looks like post Volkanovski 3, because that was a fucking beatdown. That was a nasty,
it was bully
fight.
beatdown. Yeah, it was an episode of bully beatdown.
Absolutely.
It was tough. But I think Max is mentally strong enough to overcome that. We've seen it before. Dustin Poirier beat the fuck out of Max in that second fight. And then he went on to defend the title against Frankie Edgar pretty convincingly, pretty easily.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I'm not denying that. I'm not putting all my eggs in the basket that Max is washed.
Yeah.
But I just think
you're also a bit biased towards your countryman as well in Arnold Allen.
I am for sure. He is the only guy that I actually own any merch of. I've got a little Arnold Allen shirt hanging around.
Do you now?
Yeah, I do. It's what I train in most of the time.
Yeah. Okay. But he used to train with your coach, didn't he?
He did used to train. My coach took him through all the boxing, like his amateur boxing career.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. So there's a bit of it's a bit of a homeboy there for you, which is understandable. Yeah. And I rate Arnold Allen. Like, you beat Dan Hooker to me, you're a fucking legit fighter. Arguably one of the worst stoppages in UFC history. People are saying that. I'm not saying that. But I've heard people say that when he fought Dan Hooker. Don't know. I mean, I don't disagree with that sentiment either.
I mean, if people really want to see Dan Hooker get hurt more, then that's fine.
If people want to, in my opinion,
see him get more fucked
if
up.
you're asking, if you're asking one man's humble opinion, I would have said that Dan Hooker was baiting him in.
Oh yeah.
Going for was baiting him in. And we saw a bit of that when he did drop him back, and then Arnold came on, and then there was an early stoppage, and Dan stood there like, bro, what the fuck?
That's true.
I wanted to... Well, he wanted to let the fans feel good, you know? And energized. It was hometown. He wanted to let him give a bit of a showcase, but then just punish him for the rest of the fight. Unfortunately, the referee didn't get the script and stop the fight before it. So
it's like when Khabib was on top of McGregor, pounding him out, and obviously McGregor was just tiring Khabib out, letting him gas himself out with all those punches, notoriously.
Yes, yeah. As Dominic Cruz rightfully commented on during that fight, that Conor was letting Khabib punch himself out on top of him for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Because that's the thing that Khabib's known to do, is tire himself out with the ground and pound.
Yes. I mean, I think so. I think that's pretty clear to everybody. But yes, 6 weeks of great fights, man. 6 weeks of great fights.
Which is following 2 weeks of not very good fights.
Yeah, it's been 2 tough weeks on the UFC calendar. I mean, they had already a terrible card at the time of recording this yesterday with the Span fight, which didn't even happen.
No.
I might add, last minute, whilst the card was going on, the main event fell off. It was tough. The last 2 weeks have been tough. But, I mean, for you, is there anything worth mentioning? Like, what were the standouts? I have one person I want to shout out who is a fight or a fighter that you want to shout out from the last 2 weeks.
I'd like to just talk about Blanchfield. Erin Blanchfield versus Jessica Andrade.
Bro,
that was a really good...
shit was cold-blooded.
Yeah, she's. I've been on the Blanchfield train for a little bit. I was telling all my casual friends, like, Molly has no chance, she's going to die. Which, I think she didn't land a single strike in that fight. And going in, I picked Blanchfield to do it. In my mind, I just had the image of Shevchenko elbowing Andrade to death, and then compared that in my mind to Blanchfield elbowing Molly McCann to death. And so I was like, I can see that. I can see it rhyming a little bit there.
It's a really good parallel you've pulled there, Gaz. I didn't have that foresight. I rate Jessica Andrade very, very highly. In fact, I've been calling for her next fight to have been against Weili at strawweight, not at flyweight. You know, I don't mind Andrade at flyweight here and there because I feel like she can beat most of them, but I think she's a strawweight. I think that's her division. I think that's where she belongs.
After getting mauled by Blanchfield, she has gone on and said, like, I don't want to compete at flyweight anymore. I want to go back down to strawweight and do the rest of my career there. Which I think is smart because she's been sort of like fighting for a title shot in both divisions, and it's been a bit of a weird, like, there.
I feel like it makes sense right now. Well, it did make sense. It doesn't make sense now. She just lost badly. She lost to a flyweight. So, like, how much do you weigh that up? You know? I mean, I still weigh it up when it's that bad. You know, like, I guess it wasn't. That was a dude. She got fucked up. And yes, it was short notice, 100%. And like, you've got to consider that as well. But it's just tough to sell a title shot after that.
Who else is there in strawweight?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. You don't want to do Rose again. You can't do Rose.
No, you can't do Rose again. For sure, you can't do Rose again.
Joanna's out. You're definitely not doing Esparza. Yeah, look, dude, it's a tough sell. It's a really tough sell right now. It's strawweight. Who even
is there?
Like, is there any new names coming up at strawweight? Like, it's the only exciting women's division with the greatest respect.
Yeah, I'm not interested in any of these names that I'm looking at. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd be fine with putting Andrade back in there with the full camp. I know it doesn't, like, I know she's off a loss, but it's a loss that isn't at her weight class.
Who did Mackenzie Dern just lose to? Was it to Jan? Or was it Lemos?
I don't know. I don't know. Hold on.
I mean, you could do Lemos. That fight makes sense. Because Andrade beat her in her last year, but I think. Yeah, Lemos has just come off Lemos just came off a win. I mean, I think that's probably the next fight, and then you have
probably
Andrade fight. I don't know. Who do you have a fight? Rodriguez.
Yeah, Rodriguez or
Esparza.
You could do Esparza.
I think that might be a good fight. Andrade and Esparza. Let Andrade just beat the piss out of her. And then you're off to the races. And you know the UFC want to give Dern a title shot the second she beats one person in the top 5. You know?
Yeah, no, 100%. That'll happen. If she can get there, that'll happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I rate Andrade so highly, and I really thought she was going to beat Blanchfield.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I even on short notice, I just thought Andrade... And I thought, it's not like I don't rate Blanchfield. I do. I just thought experience-wise that Andrade was going to go in there and just... With that, 5-round main event pressure experience... and just the athlete she is, just be able to fight her off and fight her fight. But Blanchfield, this young lady, did not give a fuck at all.
No.
She just walked in there and beat the piss out of her. I was so impressed with her. I'm happy to give her the next title shot if Shevchenko wins this weekend. Blanchfield next.
I think she's the only one that I care about seeing in the title picture at women's flyweight.
Unless she just gives Santos the rematch, which is arguable. But
it is arguable, but you were meant to fight Blanchfield and you fell out.
But do you just rebook Blanchfield rebook Blanchfield and Santos?
No. Blanchfield has moved ahead of you now.
Okay.
Sorry, you can make it
not
sadly,
according to the rankings. According to the rankings, Blanchfield's number 3 and Santos number 1.
Of course, but
all I'm saying is to cement herself as the number 1 contender, do you still have them fight?
No, I don't think so. I think you can.
And you're only assuming Valentina wins this weekend against Alexa Grasso.
I think you have to.
Which I think is a safe bet.
Yeah.
But not a foregone conclusion. So let's, I don't know. Anything.
Did you have anyone else you wanted to talk about? Tatiana Suarez?
Bro, I was high on Suarez a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was very interested in seeing how she'd do when she came back. Look, she looked like she'd had a few years off, but still to get a finish and a submission, dude, that's super impressive to overcome that. I'm back on the... I just needed to see her get that win, and I'm like, cool, we're back on the train. On the train. I think... Tatiana Suarez, put her straight back in the rankings, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then have her fight, a 5 to 12 type spot,
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
You could just give her Lauren Murphy and call it a day.
You could just give her Lauren Murphy.
You could just give her Lauren Murphy and call it a fucking day, Gaz. You really could.
Yeah.
But it depends what they want to do with her. You could have a fight of Macy Barber, Tracy Cortez, but I think she embarrasses both of those girls.
I was thinking I'd like to see Tracy Cortez, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't want to do that to Tracy. She's just heartbroken. Let's not break it anymore. Okay?
Allegedly.
Break it anymore. Allegedly, she's
let's
allegedly.
Let's not go around spreading gossip.
What are you two, bro? Come on. Come on.
Yeah, look, they've definitely split.
Yeah, no shit.
Shout out to the boy.
Shout out to T City. Shout out to Tracy. Hope they're both doing well. Hope they're both okay. But I'm just saying, I don't want to do that to Tracy. I like her. I think she's a nice girl. I think she's a good fighter. I don't want to feed her to Tatiana Suarez because Tatiana Suarez will choke her unconscious. Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's a definite possibility given the track record of Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah. But I think you give it a Lauren Murphy, Jennifer Meyer type deal. Good fights. They're not just going to be... If she wins, it's a legit win. But also, if you... I'll say this. I said it about Della Maddalena. If she's as good as I think she is, she should walk through both of those people I just mentioned. And I think she's that good.
Yeah, I need a couple more performances to be super convinced that she's like the shit.
But you didn't see her, bro. You didn't see her.
No, I didn't. But I can look at the record and be like, okay, these are still like TKOing Carla Esparza, which I think was on the ground, right? That was a ground and pound knockout.
Yeah.
You know, submitting Alexa Grasso, who is fighting for the title.
Yeah. Talking about title challenger and a 2-time champion.
Yeah, right. Like I can look at this and I can.
It's Carla Esparza, so but
I can like see that she was definitely an Erin Blanchfield type figure for sure.
Was so sad, bro. She just disappeared off the face of the earth, and everyone's like, "What the fuck?" I was high on her, eh? I was like, I was scared of her fighting Joanna. Like that's how I felt about Tatiana because Joanna's my girl. You know.
Well, at least you don't have to worry about that anymore.
It's true. It's true. And other than Joanna saying she wants to come back for one more fight, I'm like, please, for love of God.
Please don't. Yeah, please don't do that.
Please don't. And if you do, just fight someone. Just fight a piss hand. Just
fight like a 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Which I don't know why you take that fight though, because what does that do for you as a fighter?
I'll just fight Mackenzie Dern. It's enough of a name. People will watch it. Yeah. But you're supposed to win, and you're supposed to win convincingly. She do bad things to Mackenzie Dern, bro. Joanna and JJ would do bad things to her. At least that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know enough about Mackenzie Dern, to be honest. She's not someone that I've spent a lot of time tape studying.
You're not watching the women's mixed martial arts, clearly like I am, and that's okay.
Hey, man. I'm not watching it as much as maybe I should be. You know? Yeah. I don't know how much I've got to say.
It's not as good as it was. It really
Shevchenko.
Feels like women's MMA like had this golden era, and it's just sort of like we're not seeing the new talent. But that's when you get excited about a Blanchfield and you get excited about a Suarez. So these are two performances that are standing out to me because they're two divisions that desperately need somebody, and even though they're both flyweight, technically Suarez has fought at strawweight. Would also like to see her back down there maybe at some point if she can make the weight. So potentially two divisions affected with the Andrade situation as well. So we're desperate for talent in the women's division, and those are two great performances from two flyweights.
There definitely are fighters in the women's divisions that I keep an eye on because I'm like, oh, you're actually talented. Like Angela Hill is someone that I will always watch because I like how she fights and I think she's good. I think she's got on the wrong end of a lot of decisions. I think she's a lot better than she actually is ranked. Yeah. You know, Rose, I will always watch. Yeah, Whaley, I will always watch. Blanchfield, Andrade, I will always watch. But then you go to like Lauren Murphy, and I'm like, I'm not gonna watch your fights if they're not on a pay-per-view. Like yeah, women's MMA has like good figures in it who are talented and who can do stuff, and then the rest of it is sort of like saturated with not very good talent, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. It's tough.
I did, before we get into UFC 285, I wanted to talk about a rumor very quickly of a matchup which is being made. Have you heard about what they're trying to do to Chan Sung Jung, Korean Zombie?
Oh no.
You haven't heard.
Hang on. Can I take a guess?
Yeah, take a guess.
So featherweight. We've got Arnold Allen booked. Calvin Carter? No. Oh, Calvin. No. They're not giving him to Ilya Topuria.
They fucking are, bro. It's like very much an unconfirmed rumor, and it's.
Can I just tell you that Topuria is my favorite featherweight not named Alexander Volkanovski at the moment? I really like him.
He's a wonder to watch.
But how dare you? How dare you do that to the Korean Zombie?
Yeah.
You could have argued that with Volk, but it's a title shot and he deserves that spotlight. But how
it's a different situation with Volk because Zombie gets a lot out of that fight.
Yes, and he's chasing the gold. Yes. Whereas you're feeding him to a lower ranked. Topuria's going to kill him.
Yes. That's also my feeling. Like his thing is that he throws stupidly hard, and is like a competent grappler too. You know, submitted Bryce Mitchell, but also beat the shit out of Bryce Mitchell on the feet.
He submitted him because he beat the fucking shit out of him.
Yeah,
that was a bully situation. That was like
that was rough. I mean, that was
when you saw Bryce Mitchell's face, you're like, he had flashbacks to when those kids took his lunch money at school. That's what it looked like.
Well, he considered retiring. I don't know if you heard that. He was after.
Yes, I sure did hear it. He was like, I'm going to retire straight after. Well, no, not when you feel like you're a kid again and your milk money's gotten taken off you. That's how belittled you felt in an octagon. And you're talking about a top 10 featherweight that felt that way. And Ilya did that to him. It's scary, bro. That's a scary fight. I don't like it.
No,
I
don't like it either.
There's an evil, violent part of my brain that's like, do it. That loves the Ilya fan in me. Is just like,
right.
Just feed him anybody. It's not about it being zombie. It's like
factory.
I don't care. I don't. Other than Volk, like, I don't care who it is. Just feed them all to him. Let him run through them. I really rate him. I think he'll be fighting Volk in like 2 years.
Yeah, I think so.
If
Volk's around in 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, Volk might be at lightweight in 2 years, and then be by that point 36, and probably in his last couple of fights anyway.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I don't want to see. I hate seeing fighters like 38 to 40. It's like, no, never good.
It's a sad.
Not one example. Not one example of a good DC at heavyweight. Okay, that doesn't count. Ignore heavyweights. We're talking about real divisions here.
Jan Blachowicz is also, like 40, but heavyweight and light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, yeah, they don't count.
Heavyweight and light heavyweight, you peak at 40. That's your prime.
Yes, that's your prime. It's different. You peak at like 28 in every division from welterweight and lower, and middleweight probably like 32. I feel
really?
Like it's a little older.
I've always heard it as up until 35, and then you start trailing off. That's
I just feel like people come
MMA
into their
prime.
peak. Well, I'm talking about like coming into their peak.
Yeah,
I'm not saying when it ends, but you come into your peak at like 28.
I always look at a 28-year-old guy and be like, they're still developing. When they're like 30,
I mean,
31,
some guys. I mean,
Volk for sure. Together.
Volk for sure. Jose Aldo, Max Holloway. They change.
Holloway's a unique case.
They change
very much.
I think it depends when they start, though. Volk started his career late. Other fighters start him early. I think you have fight time, right?
Yes, right.
And you have a window, and it probably is. You're right, between 28 to 35 to hit, and you need to hit your peak in that window.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to hit it at 38. That ain't happening at featherweight.
No.
Not a chance. And unless you're a freak specimen like Yoel Romero in a middleweight division.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
that's like, you're talking about the exception to the rule here. That's the exception. Yeah. Anyway, what else is in the news? What else is going on?
That's all I could find, honestly. That's
all you could
pretty
find?
much all there is.
There was Jake Paul, Tommy Fury fought this morning.
There was.
At the time of recording.
There was Jake Paul,
Monday
Tommy
morning. That I didn't watch it because I was at work. Did you watch that fight?
I tried. I had to find legally dubious ways of finding it. Because I'm not paying £20 to watch Jake Paul versus Tommy Fury. Yeah, it was a funny one. Tommy Fury had his right hand like chambered for an uppercut the entire time, and to be fair, was landing an uppercut a lot.
Yeah, okay.
And
did it look like Jake Paul didn't belong?
I didn't catch that. Sorry, what was that?
Did it look like Jake Paul didn't belong in there with Tommy Fury?
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It was
really
like it was a split decision. One judge gave it to Paul.
Yeah, so you thought it was close?
It was close. I mean, Tommy Fury got knocked down in the 8th. He got dropped.
Yeah, I did see that. It was a well timed jab.
Yeah, it was a jab off balance for sure, and he was like, "I'm fine."
Yeah. Oh, I mean, he wasn't hurt.
No, not at all. But
yeah.
No, I don't think Paul was winning rounds. He wasn't winning like a great deal of them, but he was winning rounds.
Okay.
It was.
I mean, I wish I cared more, but yeah, I mean, it just seems like a split decision. I guess you do a rematch. I guess it's all right. But then where's the KSI fight? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I rate Jake Paul. I don't think he's that bad. Like, he's way better than any of the other YouTube fucking boxers.
Easy.
I'd take Jake Paul at least seriously in the sense of I think he's a real boxer and a real fighter. I don't think KSI or any of those other people are real fighters.
I think this makes me think he's at least he's fought a boxer now rather than like
Bro, he
a
fought
40-year-old
Anderson
wrestler.
Silva and I get it, but you fight Anderson Silva, I don't care what age. It was still pretty good.
I respected him definitely after the Silva fight, but there's also that part of me where it's like, well, Silva's slowing down. He's had injuries.
I mean, he's 50.
I
mean, he's 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like, it's not... I'm not rating him like, oh my god, he beat a world champion. But I'm just like, well, I mean, he's obviously skilled. He's obviously skilled.
I mean, I don't know how much I can speak on boxing because I don't follow it, but my understanding is that Tommy Fury is at the very least a boxer. You know, he has fought other boxers.
He is a boxer. Yeah. Yep.
But then he lost, so yeah.
True. Okay. All right. Well, then that just leaves us with. I mean, Conor McGregor's in the tough house. There's not a whole lot to talk about there.
He's getting drunk.
Unless you want to talk about. I mean, allegedly getting drunk. But,
Tyler, have you seen the video?
No, I haven't seen the video.
Mate,
I saw the video of Chael breaking down the video.
Running around outside the tough house, like clickety clack. The Mac is back on the attack, and then just like slurring a bunch of words.
But he could be baked, or was it pretty clear that he was drunk?
It was pretty high energy.
Okay.
I don't know
high energy or just high?
No. Like excited.
Okay. You can see why I asked that question.
I can see. That was misleading.
Yeah. Okay. Allegedly, Conor McGregor's drinking. Allegedly offering contestants whiskey as well. But sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, that does sound in character.
Yeah, I don't know what to think, but I'm just hoping this somehow immerses him back in the UFC, back in fighting, back in the organization. I love that his team's there with him, and hopefully some time together can get him to just be back in the zone, and back. Yeah, I just hope to see something of a decent Conor McGregor. I don't expect the old Conor McGregor ever again in my lifetime, but. Just a Conor McGregor that you can be like, a badass.
I'm still like, despite all of that, I'm still thinking that Conor probably kills Chandler.
I mean, probably based on skill, based on history, based on resume, based on an elephant tranquilizer full of fucking steroids that have been pumped in, whatever they put into him.
As if Chandler isn't also juicy as fuck.
Yeah, I'm sure he juiced in his day at Bellator. Does he still juice? I don't know. I don't know.
I feel like I know.
Do you?
I mean,
I'm such a liker. I just like to think I'm like, you sort of surely gets most of them. They can't just keep getting away with it. They're tested so much.
I think that the drugs are probably 2 steps ahead of the tests.
You're probably right. I'm probably being ignorant.
Because what happens is they update the tests and then they catch a load of guys.
Yeah.
Like they update.
But also, you never hear about it anymore because now it's private.
Yeah, that's true.
Because like you used to be like, it felt like you'd go on Twitter every other day and be like, blah blah blah, test is positive, 2-year suspension, and now. You never see that anymore because it's all private. People just sort of disappear. It has to be pretty high profile for it to happen. You have to almost be a world champion for anyone to hear that you popped for a banned substance.
Yeah,
anymore.
For sure.
Because then you're like relinquishing a title or giving up a title shot or something like that, where I feel like there have been people in the UFC that have pulled out of fights and just sort of disappeared with an undisclosed injury and they were suspended for a year or 2.
There's a theory that that's what's happened to Jerry. I'm not giving credence to that, but I've heard whispers that like Prohaska might have got caught, and that's why he's sitting out.
I mean, but he has had surgery. He's got the scars and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I feel like that kind of puts a hole in that.
I don't know if I buy that.
I don't think I do either. But it was
I see what you mean, but like they were talking about
around.
6 months. They were talking about 6 months. Like you pop something, that's 2 years.
Well, they were talking about They were talking about years.
Yeah. Well, now you're talking about 6
seems
to
eager
9
to get
months.
back in.
Yeah. So you're hoping that it's. Yeah. I hope. My God, I hope not. Yeah, that'd be bad. That'd be very bad.
Where do you wanna start on this card? Do you wanna go bottom up or do you wanna go top down? Because there's good fights on the early prelims.
Look, it's a good card, man.
Yeah, it is a pretty good card. It's a shame about the main event.
It is a shame about the main event. I mean, let's start from the bottom, work our way to the top. Let's start with the great Dan Hooker's not fighting, which is a shame.
That is a shame.
Injured, but is what it is. There's when you look down at the early prelims, you've got Ian Gary fighting Kenan Song.
You do have that.
That's probably the only one I'd want to mention on the early prelims that I'll be watching and paying attention to. I like Ian Gary. I like watching him fight. I think he's a good guy. I think he was a bit hard done by because of the Conor McGregor-ish behavior early on, but I feel like he's sort of come into his own a bit better.
Yeah, he does.
After a couple of fights and his personality and not trying to mimic anybody.
He is super likable when he's just trying to be himself, and then he'll like whip out a Conor McGregor-ism or a quote or like try and be him. He's like, oh, I'm the best talker. Everyone wants to fight me, and it's like, no, Ian, no, you're not that guy. Like,
you're just a nice guy.
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I think he can talk, but I think he talks better if he's just talking like Ian Gary.
Yeah,
you know?
Agreed.
Just be himself. But I'm excited for this fight. He's been out a while. He had a kid. He got married. I'm keen to see Ian Gary fight and put on a good performance and have leveled up since we last saw him. It's he's got a good style. I don't think he'll be a world champion, but he could definitely be a top 15. You know, the ceiling's high for him is all I think.
Yeah.
Gary. And he's young, dude. He's like 23. 23 years old.
No. He's not. He's 1997.
Is he?
Yeah. Well, that's what Tapology says.
No, you're right. You're so right. He's 25 years of age. No, he was 23 when he debuted. For some reason, I thought he was 21 when he debuted, but no, he was 23, and now he's 25. Okay, 20. Dude, that's still so young.
Yeah, that is young.
That's still so young. Well, at least I think so. You probably don't think so, you young fuck.
But it is weird. It is weird being like, oh, they're a couple of years older than me.
Yeah.
Like getting to that age.
Yeah, well, whereas Ian Gary is well enough younger than me. And yeah, so fuck you. Anyway, Ian Gary, early prelims. I mean, I feel like this is a tomato can fight they've given him. I don't know. Fuck.
Yeah, looking at Kenan, he's only fought like twice in the last 3 years.
Yeah. So he lost his last fight by first round TKO.
Yeah.
And then in 2020 he won by first round TKO. 2019 won it. Yeah, he's only fought once a year for the last 4 years. Last time he fought more than once was 2018. And he didn't fight at all in 2022. So his last fight was a first round loss in March of 2021. Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Yeah.
Yeah, this feels like let's get Ian Gary a good win.
Yeah, agreed. And rightfully so.
I did want to quickly shout Cameron Simon, who you might remember. Yeah. I think he was a South African guy. Came in undefeated. He had the weird opening prelim fight. He looked really good, but he illegally kneed the guy. Very obviously, like, it didn't look like an accident to me. It looked very much like he kneed the guy and then like looked at the ref and was like, "Are you going to do anything about that? Like, I've just accidentally kneed the guy."
Yeah, right.
Like the guy like drops to the floor, clutching his head, and
but
he like has to look at. He got the win. Yeah, he got the win.
Okay, so he wasn't DQ'd.
No. He wasn't DQ'd. It was just a weird reffing thing.
Yeah, okay. I don't remember this.
Well, I liked him at the time. I thought he was good, so just wanted to shout him.
And that's early prelims?
That's early prelims.
I didn't even realize on the prelims is Derek Brunson and Duplessis.
This is my favorite fight of the card.
Dude,
it's going to be
I had
so
no
stupid.
idea this was on the card. It's not going to be good, and I think Duplessis wins this fight too.
I think he's got the power.
I also think he's got the composure. And he doesn't have much composure. You know what I mean? Like, that's the crazy part. You've got two guys that I don't think have much composure.
I've never heard the words composure and Dricus Duplessis in the same.
But that's what's so funny, because I don't think Derek Brunson has ever had any composure in his fucking life.
Sure.
Both notorious for not having both of those things. But I just never trust Brunson. I don't think I've ever picked Brunson to win a fight in my life. That's, I think, why I'm leaning towards Duplessis. I have never picked Derek Brunson to win a fight. And I don't pick him here. He hasn't fought since he got TKO'd by Cannonier, is that correct?
That's correct, yeah.
So he's had a big layoff. It's been 12 months. It's been 12 months. 13th of February last year. And he was supposed to fight Jack Hermanson in December. That got cancelled.
I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, at the Thompson Holland card. Yeah, they were the co-main event, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wild.
And something happened, I don't know. Jack probably got injured, knowing Jack Hermanson. But yeah. Duplessis, I got Duplessis because I just can't pick Derek Brunson.
It is one where you look at Brunson's Blonde Brunson win streak, and a lot of it's been fraud checked now. Yeah. You know, Darren Till.
That's great point.
Taken 3 rounds to finish Darren Till.
Gaz, you could beat Darren Till. Yeah,
isn't great. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like you could take Darren Till down by like trying to tie his shoelaces for him. You know, he's not someone that can stay on his feet at the moment, which is a shame. No. Kevin Holland, like, notoriously not very good on the ground. You know, that was the one where he was just shouting at Khabib to help him out.
Yeah, that's tough also.
You know, Ian Heinich is one of those who's like every mid-level middleweight has beaten him.
Yeah, I think Duplessis, there's something to be said about momentum. I think he's got momentum on his side. He's on a great streak here. I think he's going to carry it and just sort of keep that going. And Derek's going to be feeling the pressure. And you got two guys, if they're both not known for keeping composure, but one's running on momentum and wins and the other's got a lot of pressure on him, I tend to pick the guy that's got the momentum here.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't think they're too far off stylistically. I don't think Derek Brunson's going to be able to hold Duplessis down. And I think in the striking department, I can see them both gassing out. And that third round being a disaster, to be honest. I think it could be a disastrous 3-round fight, potentially.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a nightmare in all the best ways. I think it's going to be so, like, that's a fight that I might have to, like, do a drinking game for. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Every time they run forward, pumping their hands with their chin, you know, comedically far forward, take a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say this is, like, Duplessis could take it to the top 5 and then start running into trouble, but this is his top 5 break.
Yeah, it is.
Like, if he beats Brunson, he's probably a top 5er. And then you have,
No, he won't be top 5. Derek Brunson's not in the top 5. He's like 6 or 7.
He is. He's number 5.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Fuck. Middleweight's tough nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not what it used to be.
It's a rough scape, eh? But then you have, like, Marvin Vettori, Jared Cannonier, Rob Whittaker.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I'd love to see Duplessis fight Whittaker. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I'd love it.
I would have zero anxiety for that fight.
No.
Absolutely no stress whatsoever. Cody Garbrandt versus Trevin 5-star, lost 3 fights in a row. Jones. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like we can figure out what your thoughts on that are.
Well, I mean, you can't because Cody Garbrandt, a gust of wind can knock him out. And I love Cody Garbrandt. I say that, and it's tough to say. But, and granted, who's he lost to? Well, he's lost to Munoz, great fighter. Kai Kara France, great fight. Like, world title challenger fighter, Kai Kara France.
Yeah.
A legit top guy in a division he cut a lot of weight for. And he lost to Rob Font in a 5-round decision. Cody Garbrandt's not a bad fighter.
No.
And he should beat the piss out of Trevin Jones, but he's not a world champion.
No, not anymore. But he's also young. He's like, isn't he 29?
Cody?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's been knocked out badly 5 times, bro.
Oh, for sure. Has it?
Yeah. Oh, 4 times, sorry.
No, 5.
One loss was Font.
Oh no, he beat a Sunsao by knockout.
Yeah, no, Munoz knocked him out, TJ knocked him out twice, and Kara France knocked him out.
Yeah, but then he also kind of got brutalized by Font. Like that was a hard watch.
Brutal. That was bad. Yeah. But then he also sent a Sunsao into Mars.
He did do that, but that's also Rafael Sunsao.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You know that respectfully, that's a win that I respect. As I like a Sunsao as like a tricky counterpuncher. Yeah, you know he's someone that I will always watch just out of like respect for what he's done in the division, for like being that guy who never got a title shot but totally should have multiple times. Yeah. For being like a tricky, like a Sunsao was one where I was watching TJ's career and I was like, really, TJ lost to this fucking guy? Like, who is he now? And then you look through a Sunsao's record and you're like, oh, actually, he's fucking legit.
Oh,
you know, he's a real.
Rafael Sunsao super legit.
But in 2020,
not anymore.
Knocking out Rafael Sunsao isn't, something to mount on your wall.
Not what it was 5 years earlier.
No. 100%.
Agreed. Oh, agreed. Agreed for sure. I mean, I've still got Cody. Cody should win this fight, and if he doesn't, he just has to go away. He has to retire. This is not for him.
Yeah, the thing is, is that I don't think he's going to retire because he's so young, and I also don't think that the UFC is going to let him go because people will watch Cody Garbrandt. Like I would
watch it as well.
I'd tune into a PFL Cody Garbrandt fight. Put him in there with Marlon Moraes.
Oh no, you son of a bitch! Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Leave him alone.
It's Battle of the Glass Chins.
Yeah, true. I still think Marlon would win that. I'm glad he's a bantamweight though. I'm glad Cody's up at bantamweight. Get a win, get an easy win, just get a little confidence back. Then maybe fight like a number 15, 14 guy in that division. But even there, that's tough. Bantamweight is it's a division full of absolute fucking animals.
Yeah. If you rank Cody, if you rank Cody at 15, he's immediately in there with like Said Nurmagomedov, Adrian Yanez, Umar Nurmagomedov, which I don't think he wins. No. And I think it's a horrible fight for him. Like Jack Shaw, that's a tough one.
Oh God. Yeah. No, none of those fights are. None of those fights are good. Look, TJ should win this fight. He should win it clearly. He should win it easily. He should win it by knockout. That's my pick.
TJ?
Sorry.
I mean, I would pick TJ too. But...
I would pick TJ too. Sorry, I was just thinking about TJ knocking Cody out twice.
Technically, he's Trevin Jones, isn't he? So he is a TJ.
That's a good point. Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
No, you can have it.
No, Cody should win this fight.
Do you want to hit the main card?
No, I was happy with the prelims.
Okay, cool.
Thank
you everyone for watching this episode of Switching Stances.
That's right. No, look, it's a good main card, man. This is a pretty decent main card. These fights are going to be good.
It is. It almost
the
gets
openers,
worse the longer you go.
I mean, I don't know. The opener's okay.
Yeah,
like
the openers.
Bo Nickel, Jamie Pickett. That I mean, it's a fight.
It sure is a fight.
I mean, Bo Nickel's supposed to win this, and he's supposed to win well. That's what this fight is. Let's not get that twisted. How do you think? I mean, I picked Bo Nickel by however he wants. I think. I mean, I think it's a first round finish.
I think Bo Nickel by submission is pretty easy to say.
I can see him knocking him out though, because a lot of these guys he's only 3 fights, but he's caught these guys that he's knocked out because they're worried about the wrestling.
Who are you talking about? Sorry,
wasn't his last win by knockout?
No, he submitted him.
Are you sure?
Triangle choke. Yeah.
I was
rear naked choke,
sure
then triangle choke.
Didn't he, or did he drop him?
I think he might have. No, he didn't drop him. It doesn't say he dropped him anyway on
what in the world?
UFC
why am I getting this mixed up? I was sure he got a knockout.
He did look like he had good.
Because I remember thinking to myself, "Oh, the wrestler dude." Good hands.
He looked like he had good striking. Like he did set up his striking really well with his wrestling, from what I remember. Or vice versa, I should say.
Yeah, I'm just looking when he fought on one of his Contender Series fights. I'm trying to remember because he finishes early. Oh yeah, so he sort of does like an overhand single leg.
Yes, yeah.
And then gets the stand. Yeah. Oh yeah, he looks like a strong man.
Yeah, I think this is a a guy that you can look at and be like, okay, he's not a complete bum.
Oh, I'm excited about Bo Nickel.
No, I mean, that's right. I mean Trevin. Oh no, Jamie. I mean Jamie Pickett.
Oh god, I'm so confused. There's so many names thrown out. I'm thinking Bo Nickel's here, so a knockout artist here. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, I mean, my opinion hasn't changed. Bo Nickel first round.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's quite an easy one to, and like unless we see him exposed, then I think that's quite an easy one to guess.
Yeah, agreed. Who have you got for Gamrot, Jalen Turner?
You know, I don't know.
Gamrot.
I rate Gamrot too. I don't know enough about Turner to be like confident either way. But
yeah, I mean Turner's been looking really good recently. Really good. I mean, you beat Brad Riddell. That's
which like on Kiwis and stuff. Which
fucking dare you? You fucking watch your mouth.
Easy fight, really, isn't it? You know.
What the
Jamie
fuck
Malarkey?
are you talking about? Now, you need to watch your P's and Q's very quick here, guys.
He did lose to Vicente Luque and Matt Favola, but both those guys are good. And he's been in a bit of tear.
But that was a long time ago he lost to Luque. He hasn't lost since 2019.
No, that's true.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, he didn't lose in 2020.
No, he hasn't. Sorry, he hasn't. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's on a 5-fight win streak.
Yes, he is.
And his last 2 fights, Jamie Larky's not a bad fighter.
No, he's not. I'm just
and Brad Riddell's definitely not a bad fighter. To beat him in 45 seconds, dude, like he looked like a monster against Brad Riddell.
He did look very good. Yeah, it was. I mean, he retired Brad Riddell, didn't he? He was Riddell. Oh no, that was my Conor. He did the same thing to him.
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Okay, well, let's just Brad Riddell's taking a break. Yes. He's gone to a butterfly farm.
No, he's gone to freestyle, and he's with Volk. He's where he should be.
Yeah.
He's where he should be. He's with Volk. He's with the boys.
He's gone to Bellator.
He's with the boys. No. He's not going to Bellator. Not going to Bellator. But who have you got? I mean, I'm going Gamrot.
I'm going Gamrot too. Despite how much we've just gassed up.
Yeah.
Turner. I had
I just think
Gamrot
there's
against Dariush, and Dariush surprised me in a really good way. I mean, I'm a big Dariush fan, so like seeing him do that was really cool. But having a close fight with Arman Tsuyukin, even if it was a robbery, it's a fight that if you don't have that knockdown, it is a Gamrot win in my opinion. I think he won that fight apart from the knockdown.
Well, beating Arman is a huge feather in your cap.
Yeah.
No matter
100%.
No matter which way you put it.
Yeah.
And he beat, I mean, his other noted ones. I mean, he beat Jeremy Stevens, but that was like sort of the tail end of what was left of Jeremy Stevens. You know?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And then like Diego Ferreira is good. Having a split
his
decision
only two
with
losses are who? Dariush and Guram?
Garam, yeah.
Guram? Well, how do you even say this last time? You said it the last episode.
Kitataladze is my understanding.
Kitataladze. Bro. What the fuck?
Yeah, but like
that was when I was like, you're making names up here, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like the most underappreciated lightweight now that Demir's gone.
Well, he's not even ranked. He's not,
which is insane because he's very good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm picking Gamrot. I just think he's such a high level beast of a fighter.
Yeah, I agree.
And and losing to Beneil Dariush by decision is nothing to be ashamed of.
No, I mean Beneil's like probably the next title contender.
Yeah.
No, I'm willing to
in fact, my flag there. Yeah, I agree with that. Beats Charles, 100%. 100% if he beats Charles.
Yeah.
I mean, the true number one contenders and the true champion is Alexander Volkanovski, but
sure.
Sure. I live in this world and I've got to play by the rules sometimes,
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. This featured bout's very good.
Yeah,
Jeff
I like
Neal and Rakhmonov. I mean, my heart says Jeff Neal and my head says Shavkat.
Why does your heart say Neal? Just because you like him?
I don't know. I like Jeff Neal. I don't know what it is. I just like him. I just sort of like, I want to see... Because I feel like Shavkat is, I mean, not a comes out level, but he's got that sort of like aura of invincibility.
Very much so, yeah.
And I just like seeing...
He's the hipsters comes up.
Yes, exactly. And I just sort of like seeing... I love seeing hype trains get derailed. So that's why my heart sort of goes out to a Jeff Neal in this sort of situation where you're a legit fighter and you deserve respect, but you're being treated like a stepping stone for this young, hot thing. And I sort of want Jeff Neal to fucking win it because of that. But I'll be
rooting for Jeff Neal for sure. But
I think, are you in agreement Shavkat takes it?
I think Shavkat takes it.
Do you think it's decision? Do you think it's finish?
I'm going to go with a finish, just based on Shavkat's resume. I just think he's got that in him, where I think if he gets it to the ground, it's a dangerous enough fight for Neal.
Right.
Yeah. I think it's rough for him on the feet.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I just think that, I don't know. I think Shavkat takes it. I think that Shavkat is going to get tested sooner or later. He's going to have that fight that makes him lose that shine, whether it's a win or a loss. I don't think Jeff Neal's
this is that fight. No, I don't either. I think Jeff will give him a couple of moments where you're like, oh shit, but then it'll be shut down relatively quickly.
Yeah, might be fucking Gilbert Burns again.
Yeah, it might be. Okay, we've both got Shavkat. The co-main event, Women's Flyweight Championship, Valentina Shevchenko, Alexa Grasso. We could have a third Mexican-born UFC World Champion all at the same time. History. Part of me wants to see it because I fucking love Mexicans, bro. I fucking love them. They're awesome. I fucking love them. But I do think Valentina's going to take this pretty easily.
Yeah. I I mean, just looking at like, honestly, I don't know much about Grasso, because I haven't seen many of her fights. I think I've probably seen her fight against Joanne Wood. I think I've probably seen her fight against Maisie Barber.
Yeah.
I didn't watch her main event. I remember asking. I think
she's
I asked
good.
Twitter.
She's consistent. I mean, I rate Alexa. Like, I think she's a good fighter, but I don't think she's. I mean, she was a strawweight for a while.
Yeah.
Like, she's fought Carolina, she's fought Esparza. You know, she's got those names on her resume. She lost to the great Tatiana Suarez. Got submitted by her in the first round, but that was back in 2018. I do think Alexa's come a long way. She's strung together quite a few good wins, 4 in a row. And I think she puts up a half-decent fight, but at the end of the day, I think Valentina wins. I think Valentina finishes her, probably in the later rounds, though.
Do you think it's on the ground or on the feet?
I think it's on the ground. I think it's a classic ground and pound. Just wear her out, take her down, beat her down.
Throwing elbows and wait for the ref to stop it.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
I think this will be a signature Valentina Shevchenko moment, though. And I love Valentina Shevchenko, and I want Valentina Shevchenko to be a long-reigning champion. But there's part of me that's just like, I just want to see another Mexican win a belt because I fucking love to see it.
I really want a Mexican card. I really want a Mexican.
Me too, bro. Me too. I'd be happy for Volk to go over there and put on a show and show the great people of Mexico what a real fighter can do.
And on top of that, you've got Dominic Cruz still around. Give him a retirement fight in Mexico. You've got Brian Ortega. You know, give him that #1 contender spot in Mexico. Yeah. You know, you've got like some fucking banging Mexican.
Well, it doesn't have to be a #1 contender spot. I don't think Ortega's in that position. I know,
but like if so.
But give him a big fight. Give him a big fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, get to City on that card.
I don't think you can hold the Yair Rodriguez loss against him, man. It's like his shoulder.
I don't hold it against him, but he got the piss beaten out of him by Volk and by Max.
For sure.
And he's got to get. He needs a lot more than one win to me. He needs like 2 solid wins, 2 to 3 solid wins. He's got a road back.
I don't think he needs 3. I think he needs 2. I think if he can get like Allen and Cater.
Yeah, but he's not. You're not making that guy fight Allen or Carter next. Give him a fucking break. I think he should be fighting a 10-5 guy next. I don't think he should be fighting a top 5 guy next. Yeah.
Who? Like Evloev?
Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look at the featherweight.
I mean,
we're really going off track here, talking about.
Yeah, we're going way off track.
But I mean, I'd have. Where's featherweight?
I wonder how much of this show we spend just.
I mean, maybe like a Bryce. I mean, you could have Bryce fight him, or like a Giga,
fight him, but that's
a Giga.
That's a piss take. You can't give Bryce that much of a shot after getting.
No, I agree. I reckon Giga's a good fight for Ortega.
I think Giga's a good fight for him. Yeah, I think that's a good fight.
I think that's.
Isn't Giga fighting Sadiq Youssef?
Is he?
I thought he's booked. He was gonna fight Sadiq Youssef anyway. So. No, he's not booked. My bad. He was booked for Sadiq Youssef, and I think he fell out of that fight.
Okay. And Ilya Taporia fighting Chan Sung Jung. That's number 9 versus number 6. Yeah, and then have Giga number 8 fight number 3 and Brian Ortega. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because Josh Emmett needs a break. Arnold Allen's fighting Max. Jair's fighting Volk.
Yep.
Corinne's on me. Yeah, and then there's this Calvin Carter. I mean, you could have Carter and T-City fight. It does make sense.
I mean, I guess they're both injured. But...
Yeah. I mean, Brian fights one of those two. It's got to be Calvin or it's got to be Giga next.
Yeah. Yep.
I'd rather see Giga because it's a better chance for Brian because I think Carter can beat Brian.
I think he can. I don't think he will, but I think he can.
I think he does. I would be picking Calvin against Brian at the moment.
Are we both happy on...
Brian thinks he's a striker.
I don't agree with that.
I'm happy with. I'm
I'm gonna have to go back. Fuck off. I'll go back there because he totally.
I'm happy with saying
throughout the entire Yair Rodriguez camp that he's going back to his roots and he's going to grapple more, and he did. He went for a takedown and he got Yair Rodriguez down.
Okay.
So, eat a dick.
How'd it go?
Yeah, well, you know.
And I love Brian, I really do. But I don't know. Just sort of falling off him a little bit.
Nah.
Anyway, I want to see him get a win. And I don't think he beats Carter. And it's not that he can't beat Carter. I just don't think at this stage of where Carter's at, where Carter's killing it, and I think beat Emmett, and before that beat the piss out of Giga, I think he's just got a bit more momentum on him. I think Brian needs someone that's coming off a loss too in a Giga. I just rather that fight. I just don't think Brian's there mentally. He just, and he's gone through a breakup. He's got some personal struggles. I wouldn't be wanting him fighting a stoic man like Calvin right now. I just don't think that's where I don't think his head's right. I don't think his fight momentum's right. I just don't want him fighting Calvin right now.
That's fair.
Right now. I just mean right now is what I mean when I say I would pick Calvin. If you told me
I'm more than happy with Giga.
If you told me in the next 2-3 months, Calvin's fighting Brian, I'm like, Calvin Carter's going to beat the fucking shit out of him.
Well, I mean, I think if Brian Ortega kicks Calvin Kattar's leg once, his knee's probably going to fall apart again. He's off until 2024, he said.
Wow. Okay, shit. I didn't realise.
So, next 3 months will be fucking rough.
Well, then Giga and Calvin will be... Who knows where the division's at by the time Brian comes back anyway, then.
No, I'm talking about Kattar. Kattar's out until 2024.
Oh, Kattar. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I forgot about that. You're so right. Yeah, so I guess it's Giga. I think that's the fight. TC and Giga. Okay, good. I like it. I like that fight.
Do you want to hit the main event?
Valentina Shevchenko versus Alexa Grasso. We got Valentina.
We both got Val. Yeah.
Okay.
The big one.
Yeah.
Full-time criminal, part-time fighter, John Jones.
Yeah. Full-time scum of the earth, John Bones Jones versus Cyril Gane.
Love on the accent.
The pride of France. Now, I need to say something because this is obviously a new show. This is a new show. And I just want to make it very clear to the people. I don't like John Jones. In fact, I'd go as far as to say I fucking hate him. I think he's the scum of the earth. I think he's a criminal piece of shit. I think he's a cheater in the sport. I think he's a cheater at life. I think he's been proven time and time again to be both of those things. I think he's a narcissist. I think he's not mentally well enough to ever be in front of cameras or in a spotlight position like he's in, but he is. And I think John Jones will become the heavyweight champion of the world this weekend. Okay. I think I have watched for 10 years this piece of shit do nothing but tarnish the sport, and the MMA gods reward him with win after win after win. Even when we know he didn't win, he wins. And sure. I think the MMA gods, if they don't give it to DC, who the fuck do you give it to? And I just don't think it's Cyril Gane. I think... And again, this is what I'm saying. I'm biased. I fucking hate John Jones. I hope he gets knocked the fuck out this weekend. 100%. Happy to say it. Do I think John Jones is the greatest fighter of all time? Yeah, probably. And do I think he wins this weekend? Yeah. I think he's going to beat Cyril Gane. Not convincingly, but solidly going to win. I don't think he's ever going to be in much trouble. Whether he puts Gane in heaps and heaps of trouble, I don't know, but I just don't think Jones is going to get in much trouble because he's the Floyd Mayweather of the sport. And I if he never fought again, I'd be a happy man. But here we are. We do this show. We've got to fucking talk about it now. I didn't want to talk about it. I don't even want to watch him fight.
No, you didn't.
I said to you, I was like, I don't even want to watch this. Because I don't. I didn't watch him fight Santos. I didn't watch him fight Gustafsson. I skipped him. I'm like, I don't want to watch John Jones fight. Fuck this guy. I watched the Reyes fight. I thought Reyes won. Is what it is. John Jones is, yeah. What do you think? Because you're also not a fan of John Jones.
I'm going to play the reverse of last time we did this, and I'm going to give you a bit of hope, I think.
Okay.
I mean, first off, I'm going to say I think this fight's going to be boring. I think this fight's going to be a lot of feinting, a lot of hand fighting, a lot of stomping on each other's knees.
I think that's fair.
I don't. I mean, I'm just not convinced John Jones has that wrestling explosivity in him anymore. I don't think he's going to get Gane down like that solidly.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't think he's. I think Gane's probably fucking training a lot of grappling, and obviously John Jones is a good enough wrestler to where that's going to be a wide disparity anyway. But I don't think if you look at the time he had with Reyes and how Reyes has gone on to do, he's not got that. He's not that guy anymore. He's just not that guy anymore.
Man, the MMA gods punished Reyes beyond absolute belief. They must have such a hard-on for John Jones, the MMA gods, to have Reyes clearly win, and the MMA gods like, we're not going to give you the decision. In fact, the fact that you did this to our guy, we're going to punish you, and we're going to punish you bad. Like, what sort of hard-on do the MMA gods have for John Jones? They're awful gods. That's all. They are
terrible. They are terrible. I think John Jones isn't that guy anymore. I think any pad work that we've seen from him has looked pretty shit. He looks slow. He looks, he looks heavy and lumbering and like he doesn't really know what he's doing anymore. Like I don't think he's been training for the time he's come off. I think he's been training for this fight. Maybe.
Well, I mean, you've got Cyril. I don't train out of camp. Gane.
You do have that. You do totally have that. But I'm also I'm sure.
Is that bullshit? For those who don't know, Cyril Gane saying he never trained outside of training camps.
I want to know.
Do you think that's true?
Because
he said true.
He said I don't like grappling in that quote, and part of me thinks maybe he's talking about he doesn't train grappling. He just does stand up stuff. And then when camp starts, he'll go into the mat.
Well, I'm sure he trains. I'm sure he goes to the gym. You know what I mean? I just don't think he's getting himself beat up at an MMA gym. Whether he's sitting there going for runs, lifting weights, or doing, you know what I mean, like fitness. I'm sure there's no way you look like he does, and he's not training 12 months of the year always.
I do think it's
on
true.
His fitness.
For what it's worth, I do think it's true.
Yeah. Fuck's sake.
I think he's just that natural talent, and he needs to be put in his place a little bit. But I don't think John Jones is the guy to do it. I think that John Jones just isn't that guy anymore. I think we saw that he wasn't that guy in light heavyweight. I don't believe any of the bullshit that he wasn't motivated to keep hold of it. That's such a cop-out. I think he's just not that good anymore. And I think that Gane, hopefully, can take it just by being younger, more athletic, through less wars. He's he's like a relatively smart fighter in that he can pick up on things that you're doing and build on them. He did that to Taito Ivasa.
Yeah. Bro, I mean, I hope you're right. I hope everything you're saying is right, because I really I have no hope in my heart for this. I fully believe that I've been conditioned, like an abusive relationship, the MMA gods will do nothing but punish us and have John Jones win in what will be a non-exciting bout. And then John Jones will talk about how fucking great he is and how God saved him and how he's been tested by God by abusing his wife and children. And then, just being a all-around criminal scumbag piece of shit.
I mean, that's the thing.
And then I'll have to sit here and accept the sport I partake and love. The greatest to ever do it is the worst human being I've ever seen.
There is always the chance, though, that John Jones, ends up fighting a woman on the street during fight week.
It's true.
It's
not out of the realm of possibility. No, it's not.
Curtis Blades versus Cyril Gane, which is all you can do in that situation.
You think Curtis Blades the backup fighter? I sure don't.
I fucking hope so. I fucking hope so. Who else deserves it? the reason Curtis Blades hasn't had a title fight is because Ngannou knocked him
What kind
out
of world
twice.
do you fucking live in?
No,
what
no,
sort
come on.
of
What?
world
You're gonna give it
do
to fucking
you live
Sergey
in?
Pavlovich? Like, I guess that's the other one.
What in the world? Where do you live, bro? Where do you live?
It's
that
gonna,
you
dude.
think
It's
about
got to be.
deserves in this
It's got to
sport?
be Curtis Blades as a backup.
Nah, it's probably Derek Lewis.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's probably Derek
It probably
Lewis.
is. Yeah.
Let's be honest.
He's gonna come and weigh in.
Yeah. Dude, can we make like a little wager here? Dude, if Derek Lewis comes out and weighs in on weigh-in day, bro, come on. That's so funny, dude. And he probably will. Like, I genuinely, like, if you're like, you have to put money down, I'd be like, I reckon it's Derek Lewis.
Really?
He'd be my first bet. Well, Tai Tuivasa is not in the States. It's not Thai.
I would bet it's Curtis Blades.
I wouldn't. Because I think Dana hates Curtis Blades.
Yeah, I mean, valid.
I think Dana
It's not a
fucking
fun
hates
watch.
him. And I think, I think it'd be Derek Lewis. I want it to be Derek Lewis.
I would love it to be just to have Cyril Gane versus Derek Lewis too.
Yeah.
It's the most unnecessary fight.
I think it's actually probably Sergey.
Yeah,
but
I think
I don't. I think it would. I think you've got a better chance it's Derek Lewis than it's Curtis Blades, in my opinion. That's what and I really mean that. I really do mean
right.
that.
You might be right, but I think it can be. I think it can be Curtis Blades. I'm gonna live in my little fantasy world where like the rankings matter.
Okay, you enjoy that world.
I will.
I'm gonna live in the real world.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, you're picking Cyril.
Go on. You're picking Jones.
I'm picking. Well, I'm picking Jones. I'm picking Jones out of...
Number one John Jones fan over here. Picking John Jones, as always.
I'm picking John Jones out of just emotional
Adoration.
defeat, to be honest. That this sport is... And this particular fight has just beaten me down emotionally. And the fact I have to fucking waste my Sunday watching him fight is just a fucking bullshit travesty. Not going to watch it live, but I'll watch it before we record. You know, he's not worth that time. He's just not worth.
You're not gonna watch it live.
No, I've got things on, and normally I'd move them. Normally I'd move them for fights, for big fights. But I'm not moving it for John.
That's okay.
Jones.
I'll be watching it.
Yeah. Well, don't spoil anything.
6 a.m.
Yeah, unless Cyril Gane sends him to the land of wind and goes where shadows dwell, I don't want to hear about it.
Okay, I'll keep tight.
But if that happens, then shoot me a message.
Okay.
And be like, I'll watch this immediately. You'll love it.
Oh, God,
no, don't even tell me that. Don't even tell me that. Because if that happened and I feel my reaction to it, bro.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
It'll be out of this world.
You might cry.
I don't think might is the right. I think it's
I think you'd cry.
guaranteed. I think it's guaranteed.
Yeah.
Tears. And I'll more be annoyed. I'm like, look, Cyril Gane, out of all the people John's fought, Cyril's up there with one of the people who'd be like, yep, I like Cyril. I'm happy with that. But it should have been DC. It's just always should have been DC. And I'm a DC nut hugger as the fighter, not as much as the commentator. I like him as a commentator, but just not as much. Not like I loved him as a fighter. But anyway, it is what it is. I would love to see a DC John Jones interview this week, though, to be fair. I would love to see that.
I don't think he'll do that, but an Octagon interview?
Yeah, it would be cool. I'd like to see it.
Especially if Jones loses.
Just for the memes, because, I mean, the reality is I think the greatest rivalry in MMA history is John Jones and Daniel Cormier.
Just for the what, sorry?
Just for the laughs.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And just for the memes. The memories.
Just for them. Oh, okay.
Well, you're talking about the greatest rivalry of all time.
I thought you were saying memes, weirdly. I was going to...
No, the memes. The memories.
Okay.
Yeah. You know, like the kids say, the memes.
Yeah, all the kids say that. That's true.
The kids. Yeah. All the kids say that. Yep. John Jones, once again, will win, and I'll be sad. Oh, the pain. I hope we're here next week and we're talking about this card and it's just in celebration. Bro, I'll be wearing a party hat. There'll be confetti if Jon Jones loses. It really will be absolute celebrations here.
I will buy a baguette, especially.
Dude,
I'll
yes,
be munching
dude.
on a baguette.
Oh, bro, I'm going to come in with a It'll be cultural appropriation all over the place.
Yeah.
Is
yeah,
what's going to happen.
Racist.
It'll be arguably racist how French will become if... you'll lose your English citizenship.
Yes.
That's how... I do have French blood, so I'm just going to throw that out there. I do have French relatives. I'm just
We're pulling another, I've got,
my great-grandmother was French. My great-grandmother... Surely that's close enough. Is that close enough? Great-grandmother French?
Yeah, I guess it's enough to say you've got French in you.
Thank you. That's all we needed. Gaz has approved me coming in being arguably racist to the French in celebration of the French. I'm celebrating them, Gaz.
Yeah,
to tear them down. I'm celebrating the great culture and great win for the French people by Cyril Gane, heavyweight champion of the world, is what I hope to say next week. It won't be what I say next week because the MMA gods are cruel cunts, but it's what I hope.
That's okay. I still believe.
And
also, even if what I'm taking solace in is that even if Jon Jones beats Cyril Gane, I think there are a lot of other heavyweights that could still beat Jon Jones, namely Curtis Blades.
Do you? I mean, yeah. Really
I do. I do think that Curtis Blades can beat Jon Jones. I think Jon Jones probably isn't very good now.
Yeah. Look, I just don't think you've suffered what I've suffered.
No, I haven't. I'm young and hopeful.
Yeah. I just think I've been beaten down, and I wish I remember being you once. And it would be a Jon Jones fight week, and you'd be excited, I hope whoever he's fighting wins. And then next thing you know, MMAfighting.com tweets out Jon Jones suspended for name illegal activity he's done.
Yeah.
And then when he does end up going into fighting, it's either the most boring fight of all time, or he gets an undeserved win. Or breaks your heart and knocks out Daniel Cormier and then pops for steroids. That also happened. That also happened. Yeah.
Are you okay? Do you want
to... No.
No.
I haven't let it go yet. Still. I still haven't let it go. I still haven't let UFC 200 go either. I didn't forget about UFC 200. Oh, God.
Which one was that? Who did you fight? Oh, no,
he
that
was
was
supposed
the
to
one
fight
that he was meant
DC.
to fight DC, and he got
the main event of UFC 200, the greatest rivalry in MMA history. The greatest rivalry in MMA history was supposed to main event UFC 200, and instead he's doing steroids and pops because he's a cheat. And then DC still takes a short notice fight against Anderson Silva 2 days before, and then he's the one getting booed.
Yeah.
Fuck off. Fuck off.
I was
unintelligent
tempted.
Fucks.
I was tempted to come in and
I haven't let it go.
Start the episode by reading every Jon Jones controversy.
Dude.
I was tempted of putting up a little list.
We can do that next week, either way.
We can do that next week. Well, we spoiled it now, but we can do that next week.
We'll do it next week.
We'll do a timestamp when the real one
The Jon Jones expose next week on Switching Stances.
Yeah. Little video essay.
Yeah, 100%. Look, I haven't let it go, and maybe this can be the time I finally let the trauma go. Maybe this can be it. I doubt it, though.
I'm going to pose a hypothetical quickly, just before we round this off.
Yeah.
We say Jon Jones loses. We live in fantasy world for a bit. Jon Jones loses. Yeah. Does he ever fight again?
Yes.
You think so? You think he comes back?
Yep.
You think he fights a heavyweight contender?
Because
he doesn't get another title fight.
I don't think he can make 205 anymore.
No, of course he's not going back down. I just mean, do you really think he's the type of guy that will take a 1 to 5 type ranking?
I think they'll make it. I think they'll feed him to Stipe, or Stipe.
In fact, where do you even rank him? Where do you even rank him if he loses?
I mean,
it will be top 3, just based on
stupid. What if he gets knocked out in the first round?
Yeah, well, exactly. That's what I mean. But it will be top 3, won't it?
Yeah, I guess so.
He'll come back and they'll put him straight in there. Although, actually, the ranking guys are separate from the UFC, aren't they? They're like a non-partisan body, so they might actually just not rank him. I think you can do Stipe, because is Stipe ranked now, or is he out of the rankings?
Yeah.
No,
Stipe's in the rankings. Of course,
he's number
in
2.
the rankings.
Well, he's not fought for like 2 years, which normally means you get taken out. That's what happened to Greg Gillespie.
Yeah, I know, but it happens to people who we don't like.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't happen to Conor McGregor. It doesn't happen to Stipe.
No, that's true.
Conor McGregor's on steroids and not even getting tested by USADA, and he's in the rankings.
That's true. That is true.
Like, it has nothing to do with, Oh, no, McGregor's out of the rankings now, isn't he?
He's out of the rankings now, finally. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He got booted.
Yeah. I think it's mostly because everyone was, like, yelling about it. Like, guys, he's on steroids. We know he is. He's not...
No, he just slowly crept out. It was just like a slow, like, as other fighters got into the rankings, you had to move guys out, and it had to be
Paddy Pimblett confirmed to be fighting Drew Dober?
No.
Is that confirmed?
No. That's something that Drew Dober wants. And it's just like, please give me this, please give me this, please give me this.
Please give him it. Please give him it.
I really want that
Please
fight.
give Drew Dober Paddy Pimblett, for the love of Christ.
I would adore that fight. As a British citizen, I would love nothing more than to... Because I keep saying he's going to lose. I keep telling my mates, like, he's not that good. Watch, this is the one. And then he scrapes a win.
Yeah.
Or just gets gifted. I messaged one of my friends after the most recent Paddy fight, and I was like, look, you're not like... You don't know much about MMA. Watch the Paddy fight and tell me who you think wins. Afterwards, he just sent me like a laughing emoji and was like, how?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't think you need to know much about anything to know Paddy Pimblett got the shit beat out of him and lost that fight.
No. Yeah, 100%.
I had it 30-20. I had it 30-27.
So did I.
To Jared Gordon. Like, I couldn't give Paddy a round if I wanted to.
No. No, I neither could.
I didn't want to, but it is what it is. Anyway, when I need to talk about Paddy Pimblett, that's it. UFC 285 this weekend. John Jones, Cyril Gane, Alexa Grasso, Valentina Shevchenko. Lots of good fights on this card. I am looking forward to some good fights. And hopefully we can come back next week and talk positively. But if not, we still have a good fight night the following week.
Oh, yes.
As well, which is still going to be very good. With Merab and Yarn fighting, which is just an absolute terrific... Like a bantamweight main event, bro. Mm-hmm. Get in me.
I cannot believe they didn't give Alexander Volkov that main event slot, because they fucking love giving big guys
imagine. I'm so glad they didn't give
the top 10
Volkov
to 15 slot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, thank God.
Fucking Peter Yan.
Peter Yan and Merab. That is such a good fucking fight, dude.
So good.
That's such a good fight.
Can't fucking wait.
Wrestle fuck him for the 5 rounds, but is what
Really? You think so? I don't think so.
I do. I hope not. I'd love to see him stand and trade.
I think he's going to try and wrestle fuck him, but I just don't think he's going to have that.
Be as successful. Oh, no, it's going to be tough. Peter Yan's got good... no doubt. No doubt about it. It's not going to be like Jose Aldo. It's not going to be that bad.
No.
But I still think it'll be a grind out decision win from... We'll talk about that next week. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it next week. Maybe I'll go back. I'll watch the most recent fights, and maybe I'll change my mind.
Yeah.
Then the week after that, UFC 286, the card in England. That'll be 7 a.m. my time on the Sunday morning, so I'll be up
it'll
early
be a good
for that.
time for me.
Still not a bad time. Marvin Vittori's on the card, which is great. Justin Gaethje, Fazeev, Leon Edwards, Kamaru Usman. Look, it's not the best card, but you've got some big fights in that card, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah. Gunnar Nelson versus someone. Oh no, it's Gunnar Nelson versus Barbarena, isn't it?
Yeah, because it got his fight got
D-Rod's
canceled
out.
with Rodriguez. Yeah.
Mohamed Makayev, Jack Shaw.
Yeah, and then the next week, bro, you've got Marlon Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Holly Holmes fighting.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. against Kunitskaya. And then Alex Caceres is back. We love him. He's fun. Not like
versus Nate the Train.
There's some decent fights on here. No big names,
like
but I mean that main event, bro, is just.
What are the prelims looking like?
That's one of the best main events you're gonna get. Marlon Vera, Corey Sandhagen. You don't get better.
Oh, dude!
I'm
Alex
so
Perez
glad
versus Manel Cap is on that fight.
On the prelims.
Yeah, on the prelim. Well, I think they'll probably move it up.
You'd hope so.
I think this is probably just like a sort of thrown together bout order. I think that will be a good fight. That's a co-main.
Yeah, that's a good fight. Oh, dude, that main event's so fucking hot.
So good.
It's so hot. It's terrific.
Oh, so good.
It's absolutely terrific stuff.
And
then
bigger cage
2
now
weeks
as well.
up. Yeah, and then there's a week break in between this.
Oh, yeah.
So there's no
right.
card.
That's cool.
And then the week after will be UFC 287, Alex Pereira, Israel Adesanya 2, Gilbert Burns, Masvidal, Rob Font, Adrian. Dude, Rob Font,
That's
Adrian
an
Yanez.
insane card.
Fuck me, I'm excited for that fight. That's such a good fight. Kevin Holland, Ponzinibbio.
Yeah.
Roses Jr. comes back with another fight. That's a good
Gastelum Curtis, Chiesa
on the prelims and the Leech, Michelle Watterson. Dude, that Chris
Barnett.
Bro. This card is so good.
Joe Pyfer.
Yes, he is.
That's cool. Like
Cynthia Calvillo's on the card.
You can judge a card, I think, most often by do you know the names on the early prelims?
If you know,
like, have you ever heard of these guys before? And I've heard of Gerald Meerschaert. I've heard of Joe Pyfer. I've heard of Lupe Godinez. I've heard of fucking Ignacio Bahamondes.
Oh, Cynthia Calvillo from Team Alpha Man. I've heard of her. And then, you know, everyone on the prelim, you know, everyone on the main card. That's a great fight. I mean, I don't know Christian Rodriguez is fighting Roses Jr., to be fair, but, you know, it's not about that. It's about Raw.
No, it's definitely not about that.
But yes, dude, that's a great. And then the following week is Max Holloway, Arnold Allen. Which is fantastic stuff. That's some injected into my veins content right there.
Yeah. The glorious rise of Arnold Allen.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't
Let's fucking go, Arnie.
Yeah. Okay.
Make it happen.
Yeah. Okay. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning into this episode of Switching Stances. Appreciate your support. If you like this video podcast, rate us on podcast services like this video. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube. Check us out on social media, Instagram, Twitter. We post stuff. We post reels and highlights from this show, from any reactions from fights. It's great content. Go check it out. Go support us. Go follow Gaz on Twitter as well.
Please do. Yeah,
and see when he's posting his latest write-ups and articles. Are you doing a write-up for this card this weekend?
Yeah, I'd like to. It's going to be a lot of work. I have to watch through all of John Jones's fights. But that's the plan. I'd like to get something out on all of these fights because they're fucking bangers.
Yeah, there's some good ones. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff. All right, mate. Well, I'll see you next week. We'll see you all next week to recap UFC 285 John Jones versus Cyril Gane. Thank you everyone for watching and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.